Welcome back, viewers at home. Tonight, we are honored to have the esteemed ambassador of Turkey to South Africa, Her Excellency Ayşegül Kandaş, joining us today to discuss her tenure, South Africa to Turkey relations, and memorable moments during her service. Now, Ambassador Kandaş, thank you for being here with us, and tekrar hoş geldiniz.
Hoş bulduk. Thank you so much. Şükran.
Now, just taking a moment into, considering that your tenure is almost to an end, I believe today is your last day.
Yes.
How are you feeling and what has it been like for you?
I feel quite sad because I love this country and her people so much. I think I'm leaving a part of my heart and my soul here. It's very sad. Saying goodbyes are always sad. Yeah.
Now, Her Excellency, what would you say are some of the, highlights when it comes to some of the things you were successful in or proud of as the ambassador of Turkey here in South Africa?
Yes. For instance, one highlight was a traumatic event that happened in Turkey, the earthquake, 6th of February earthquakes in Turkey. It was heartwarming to see the common humanity we have, the humanity and compassion of the South African people trying to, Muslims, Christians alike, from all walks of life, trying to help the Turkish people after the earthquake. That was very important. We had a big mobilization campaign, lots of donation campaigns. We sent in-kind assistance every day with Turkish Airlines cargo. It was it was an event that brought the peoples of the two countries plus the governments of the two countries together. That is a memorable and a very challenging experience for me that time, together with my embassy. Second, my experience in monitoring projects, TICA, Turkish Development Cooperation Agency, projects in the rural side and the townships, semi-urban areas of South Africa in different provinces was a very good experience because I could touch the daily lives of the people on the ground, which means the real, the South African people getting together with them at the opening ceremonies, launching ceremonies of the projects. That's when I traveled the country most. We finished around 20 projects on average a year.
Wow.
That was very important. And we concentrated on women and youth. For me, that was the most memorable and most real experience I've had in the country. It was also facilitating people-to-people relations. It was also about increasing visibility of Turkey. In the really far away places, away from the center, away from the capitals in the country. So in that respect, I will always cherish those moments when we impacted lives and when we saw the real, the sincerity, authenticity of the South African people.
Oh, alhamdulillah, this is quite
Alhamdulillah,
delighting
yes.
to hear. Now, how would you best describe the growth in terms of your, as your role as the ambassador? How has the role itself developed you both professionally as well as personally?
Yes, it's very important. When learning about the culture of the host country, for a diplomat, that's always a growing experience, first of all, because you start comparing the culture with your own culture. You start seeing the commonalities. When you are in an effort to bring the peoples together, there is so much that you learn. And I gave a lot of importance to learning the language. So I wanted to learn isiZulu and learn about the culture. That's why I went to certain villages, Zulu villages, try to talk or make my speeches in isiZulu.
Oh, wow.
So I took those classes. That was very important because language is the gateway to the culture.
Yes.
And so I learned a lot in that respect. I learned certain things like the concept of time. The time concept in the northern hemisphere and in the southern hemisphere are quite different. That I learned. How people in South Africa capture the moment and live more in the moment. If you capture the moment, you can get a lot done in the country in terms of your work. And flowing, like to see time as a flowing kind of concept, a construct in our heads, of course, was very important. That's quite different from the North, where we work always in deadlines and rushing to places and trying to chase time. So in that respect, I learned to be a more relaxed person than I am. I learned to respect the timing of other people. I learned about, I learned a lot about relations in space and time. That's very important, and how culturally people adapt to each other. There's such diversity in terms of language, ethnicity and everything, and you can see how people can still communicate and can really cherish each other. That's very important. Another thing I learned about South African people in their daily lives, no matter how many challenges they have, how difficult it could be, they never lose the joy and the happiness and the expression of feelings. I think that's also important, coming from a country where on the streets you usually see very serious looking people. So sincerity, authenticity, I kind of resonated, I think, with me, the people.
Now, still on the aspect of, relations between, Turkey as well as South Africa, just moving forward, what would you say are your hopes, in terms of, moving forward for the future, the relations between that of South Africa and that of Turkey?
There's a lot of potential for doing more, and I believe my successor will definitely succeed in carrying the torch and propelling the relations even further. Political relations have come quite close among the former foreign ministers. It's continuing with the present foreign ministers, with the bilateral visits and the talks on the phones and the meetings. The two presidents have talked at least twice during my tenure on the phone, met in New York. All these meetings are very important. For instance, when it comes to pushing economic relations, commercial and investment relations, I think there's a lot more potential. There is potential for big Turkish construction companies, contractors, to get into the South African market and to help with the big infrastructure projects of the state. For instance, that needs to be done. There could be more Turkish investment coming into the country, especially when it comes to bringing in equipment, know-how, investment in that, in the textile sector, in the mining sector, energy sector, very important. Railways, ports, highways, those infrastructure projects, very important. I'm just hoping there will be more improvement in that respect. We had a record high in our history of bilateral trade relations in the trade volume in 2022, when the trade volume exceeded $3 billion. And we changed from the traditionally negative balance, which is not in our favor, negative balance in our trade, to positive in our trade with South Africa. That was very important. We need to keep up the momentum. So there's a lot to say.
In closing, I would like for you to just share with us, what would you like for your legacy to be, or how would you like to be remembered? And also the most important, and I think I would like to hear from you in terms of what would you like for South Africans as well as Turks to remember about their respective countries and people?
First of all, when it comes to legacy, I think for me, what I was passionate about is the projects we have done, because this is when you walk the talk. This is when you finish tangible projects, the satisfaction of being able to pay it forward to the people, to the communities, that's very important. The lives of the people that we have touched, especially the women. We have now over 150 women that form a network, women SMEs who have been trained by us, for instance. And when it comes to the youth, we have done a lot of projects for schools, for instance. So all these projects I will be carrying with me, the results, and will be hoping for sustainability, of course. That's why, since I was so passionate about these, at one of your programs here, I think it was during Ramadan, that we announced with AFCAF SA, that we would establish a women's fund, which we did together. So I will be following up with the women's projects in South Africa, geared towards ending GBV, for instance, or economically empowering women, and also empowering the boy child. So we have established these seminar series in township schools geared towards boys, in line with the President Ramaphosa's What About the Boys campaign. So we are going to schools with motivational speakers and the right type of speakers to address the challenges the boys are facing in those schools. And to increase, these seminars are also geared towards increasing awareness about, GBV and how we can, empower men, actually, because the problem lies with the boys and the men. So in that respect, for me, this is where my passion lies. And this is about the humanitarian hand of Turkey around the world. Turkey is the biggest country in terms of its GDP when it comes to humanitarian aid around the world. So I just wanted our embassy to be an example here in South Africa of that. And also maybe in response to what South Africa has done to Turkish people, the South African government and the people, when the Turkish people were in trouble during the earthquakes, after the earthquakes. So in that respect, I think this will always stay as the legacy, the people we trained, the lives we touched.
Excellency, when you're saying walking the talk, it's something that you've been doing. You've come in multiple times and gave us your time, and never one day did you ever send a representative to come and speak on your behalf. We've seen you on so many media streams, especially when it comes to the earthquake, making sure that, all the things are there. You're always present. And I think presence gives hope, presence gives trust, and presence builds to broken places. And we want to say on behalf of INX, we thank you for your service. We thank you for your time with us, and we're wishing you nothing short of the best. May your legacy continue to shine. May all the projects that you were part of continue to sustain themselves and speak to the mantra of walking the talk. Jazakallah so much, and thank you so much. I cannot even thank you enough, but thank you. But God will definitely bless you for all the work you've been doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be a voice for these projects, to kind of be an example for others, the NGOs that we worked with and everything. It is the Ubuntu that I've learned, Ubuntu spirit that I've learned in South Africa that I will carry to Turkey. So it's about Ubuntu that you and I share. Thank you.
Çok teşekkürler.
Ben teşekkür ederim. Sağ ol.
Viewers at home, that was Her Excellency Ayşegül Kandaş sharing in her journey, her hopes, her dreams, and some of the beautiful projects that she's been a part of, and her biggest hope that they continue to sustain, because them living, they mean to speak positivity to those benefiting and those who actually are watching from the outside. But viewers at home, that's where we close it off for now, and as INX, we wish her nothing short of the best, and may many more individuals like Her Excellency Ayşegül Kandaş come in to spill more hope, more love, and more trust. But on that note, let's head over to an ad break. See you when we come back.